All right. This is major girl venting. Last night, like before Trump or after Trump declared war on Iran, Trump declared war on Iran when I was filming a video about trying to get paid for doing political consulting. After that, I started filming a video about all the problems that we have that I think I can summarize really quickly, and like why, like, you know, how technology can be used in war, because I saw there were things that were brewing that were complicated, probably here or whatever. But anyway, so this program, first of all, like, look at these circles all of a sudden. Terrible. See, this is not exactly how my face looks. Neither is what happened on that fucking video. I spent like an hour and 40 minutes running through like all of this shit, you know, like just like, because sometimes I just also get really stressed and I have to let it all out. And it's like, this is like my updated academic understanding and the most efficient thing I can say. And it's also really clever and nice and like makes everybody like understand things from a very emotionally and socially intelligent position. Okay. So like, I like, it was like an hour and 40 minutes. And I got cut off when I was like, got into this, like what to do about Skid Row and like how I would handle like all of that homeless stuff in a way that was like, just like common sense, nice white girl from Southern California. And it cut me off like, like, you know, like I was like, oh man, I hit a nerve or whatever. Anyway. So it's like an hour and 40 minutes and it's good, but like, I just want to start it again. And it starts out with me talking about like what's going on with the medical infrastructure in California and how it's like super fascist, but DEI diverse, and which is not the kind of thing that you ever hear from mainstream media about what DEI actually is. Like you hear about DEI, you know, it's like diversity and inclusion, but there's a lot more background about what DEI is and why it's so fucked up. Mainly that it's like diverse people doing fascist shit. And so there was a lot of really good shit I said about like, sorry, I'm cussing now because I'm pissed. But like, there's a lot of really good shit I said about like how it's like really funny because like, have you ever tried to deal with Black people that are like super, like they know they're really hot, and it's like, you know, it's like, but I was like, you know, the way people act in hospitals is disgusting, but like there's this whole phenomenon where you're just like, it's really tough because there's like, you're like, yeah, you are really beautiful and Black, but like, I'm not that fascist, or like you get scared or whatever. So like, there's a lot of like good nuance, but it was like totally cut out, you know, and it just like went to this pathetic thing. Moreover, they added like 2 inches of fat on each side of my face and it's like droopy and gross. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You know? And it's like, okay, so I'm like, who's doing this? I'm like, it's gotta be some guy whose like dick was in my mouth at some time, right? I mean, I'm like 41 years old, I'm single, right? I don't have a job yet. I haven't gotten paid for all this work. And why? Because I've been getting passed around from job to job, like doing my own independent political consulting because it got too fucking lame and too fucking immoral for my own standards of care. Okay. And my mom is like always like doing stupid shit and had her own independent wealth, like when she started doing these things. And so I was like, yeah, of course I have money to spend. Like, no worries. We got you, you know, like I'm a white girl from Manhattan Beach, California. You can't fuck with me. You know, kind of this idea that like, oh, we'll be fine. Like what could ever get so crazy that like, I won't be able to like front, like, you know, like whatever. And then just go to the federal government and be like, yo, there were these like crazy little like flare ups of overlapping vestiges of past things that we said as a nation we voted to put a stop to, not just here, but like on the international realm, you know, that we somehow all of a sudden just like missed because new technology came in, everybody got behind it, nobody talked about it. It was just like, and the entire country just got like bamboozled into giving up all this work that they've done for the past like, you know, 70 years. And we're not going to do that, but like, that's where we're at right now, basically. And so I was explaining all that stuff at like 2:30 in the morning because I've been staying up all night because I have being occupied and because the government hasn't heard me yet. But the government is hearing me because the more I make it clear that this is like I understand, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I understand the rules and I understand that these situations are not working. And I've tested everything I can possibly do to like not let my life be over now as a 41-year-old with all of this opportunity, who already lost her mother, who already lost her fucking dog, you know, like this stuff already screwed things over so much because nobody was paying attention. Okay. And these people were acting psychotic and nobody's put a stop to them because it's not just the little vestiges. Okay. It's much, much worse. Okay. So I was explaining all that, and it was after we went to war with Iran. But then today we got a really good like judicial ruling on a random writ, and it was so relieving. And so I just think, you know, I'm trying to like just keep the momentum going on that. But oh my God, Apple, what the fuck is wrong with you? And who are you working with? Like I know I haven't gone back and like tried to arrest every single guy I've ever had like intimacy with, but like, do I have to? Like, why are you treating me like an object and making me look like shit when I'm saying really intelligent things? And yeah, I'm saying them off the cuff. Okay. Like, I haven't been arrested in a marriage yet, you know? Like, maybe somebody stole my husband. Maybe, like, my mom got killed, you know? Maybe my mom was Jackie Kennedy, okay? My mom was probably Jackie Kennedy. You know why? Because Jackie Kennedy married Aristotle Onassis after my mom married Dorian Chandler. Dorian Chandler is also Greek. Do you know that? It's all the same fucking shit, dude. All the same fucking shit. And I'm telling you, like, there's been a Johnson after every one of those assassinations. Mike Johnson got elected after my mother was fucking killed, okay? It is not the same thing. I am so mad. You know, like, like, why would they do that? Like, and I don't even know what the other hour and 40 minutes or whatever it says. I have no idea. It's good stuff, though. You know, it's just, like, a lot of, like, very, like, look, here's the standard of care. This is what we're doing. It's bullshit. We don't have to do that. Like, why don't we do something else? We have a liberal economy. People are looking to work, looking to add, like, you know, not to try to over control things, but, like, Lord knows there's been many a fascist man that's been talking longer than I have at anything, you know? So I'm just trying to do my part. And I was like, yeah, I know I'm a little bit Hitler, a little bit Mussolini. Like, I kind of figured this out just now. I'm not trying to rub it in anybody's face or do anything about it, but, like, literally, this is what's going on. Like, you have to understand how bad it is when, like, fascist medicine meets fascist police forces and they're mediating international trade routes. Like, do you understand how much of a public nuisance that is? Like, you're letting economies in other countries traffic things into your country. They're formal economies. It's like formal Germany, formal UK, formal Spain. They are allowed to traffic whatever the fuck they want into your country, into a fascist police and medical regime. Okay? Where is that going to ever meet federal laws? Like, if you don't fucking, like, raise hell. For how many years I've been raising hell? Oh, 9 years I've been raising hell, and I just read an opinion that was, like, totally talking about the same stuff, and it was like, you need to stop doing that. You're violating their, like, Fifth Amendment was what they were focusing on, but they're like, you keep violating his constitutional rights, like, these are the remedies we're going to seek. We're going to fine you. We're going to hold you in contempt. I mean, honestly, they could just arrest them for federal violations of law, but, like, they were like, these are the things we're going to do, is do not keep doing that. We've told you many times that you cannot be out there taking people into custody and holding them in and detaining them without any fucking probable cause, let alone, like, you know, like, you're like, you know, they have an entire, like, scheme going on, right? It's like this person had been arrested. It's like, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. People also, like, they get picked on for these more, like, Masonic narrative stories. So this one is actually kind of funny because this person had, like, a name similar to my dad, and he had been arrested on Valentine's Day. So he's been in custody for a little while. But he got released based on a habeas petition today. And the court, there's a district court in West Virginia granted a habeas petition that released him right away and said, like, yo, like, West Virginia Attorney General, like, you need to calm down. Like, we're denying your, like, you know, request for dismissal. And, you know, you need to stop allowing these people, like, every state officer in this country and every law enforcement officer needs to know, you need to stop violating these people's constitutional rights. You're taking all these people into custody, all these people in detention, and they are not doing anything wrong. You have no reason to detain them. Stop violating. This is like fundamental law 101. You have a clear intention not to, like, and these people are saying that these people are actually intentionally violating the law. Like, they're federal officers that are, like, openly hating on our laws, and they're saying, yeah, no, we don't like to file, we're not going to do it. And there's evidence that they don't care, you know, like, their predisposition, their positioning, you know, they don't do anything that indicates any respect for the law at all, or these people. So these judges were very angry, and they got, like, you know, so I was like, it was such a happy moment. I was like, so, I mean, it just really changed from the morning. I was like, oh my God, we're at war with Iran. Yesterday morning, I woke up to a bunch of, like, priests and bishops, and, like, the reason why is because this bishop's mom had been, like, offed kind of, and, like, randomly quickly. They're from Pennsylvania, and so Pennsylvania is kind of, like, holds down our more conservative religious values in a lot of ways, but a lot of those are, like, very, very violently extrapolated into very Nazi-informed, like, you know, conservative policies. And so it was kind of this, like, shot at a priest's mother saying, like, look, you guys are complicit in this shit. Like, you need to stop being silent, you know? That's my take on it, and I'm biased, obviously, and so I posted something about that today, but they were all up in the morning, and they were asking me for, like, thoughts and prayers. Like, it's like, that was yesterday morning, and then today I was like, oh, we're at war with Iran. I was like, is that Iran or Iraq? Because both of them have related to my mother's actual IRA. Like, it's not even a joke. You know, wars are for a lot of, like, family money-raising reasons, and, like, you know, I don't necessarily know that Trump's ever gonna, like, because he started, I was like, he's like, you know, he's said something about Israel is going to war with Iran or something, so he went to war. But I was leaving a message. I was like, can you, like, pay political consulting fees? Like, I don't, like, you know, can you tally the numbers? Because I know you guys are, like, actually using my words, and you're watching me all the time. So I know you know how many hours I've spent, you know, like, can you figure it out? Because, like, I don't want to violate my 13th Amendment rights, you know, like enslave myself, like tabulating like how much time I've spent like being taken advantage of. That's so silly. Why would I do that? Anyway, isn't that like, this is just, I mean, it's the, I'm trying to think like the brighter or lighter side of this nonsense, but anyway, I was so happy for that opinion, and I think I probably made like a couple videos about that already. And then, but yeah, this fucking video is like, it's like an hour, and I've been told, I started getting commentary, and they're like, you need to start being more polite, and you need to not cuss, like, you know, if you're gonna get anywhere. And then, so I was like thinking, I was like, polite, and so then I started looking at a bunch of like Polish political pages, like these guys that are like really tough, and I was like, whatever, you know. It don't matter to me, but it does matter to me. But you know, like, it's fucked up. It is fucked up. Like, it was an hour and 40 minutes of really good rap on what's not being even voted on in this country by either political party. They're not bringing it up. It is literally the most fascist, medically genocidal nonsense that is being funded by productions in other countries that are coming through our ports and going straight to fascist police and fascist medical people that are DEI. So you would never know that they're a problem because they're Black and they're Latino and they're white and they're all, you know, and you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, you know, like they're just like indoctrinated into it. A lot of them, you know, it's like the ivory tower of medicine or whatever, but, and it sounds really bad because like the first thing I say is like, they're like just nasty people, you know, the things they do in the hospitals and stuff like that. True. Before that, I was talking about though, it's funny and it's like really hard to deal with because like you have these Black people that are like, you know, because it's based in fascism. So it's like got this like genetic, like, you know, you can't be like, you gotta be strong. You gotta like, you know, you care about presenting art to the world or whatever. It's like, there's that component of fascism that I think kind of aligns with that. Although like, you know, the fascism of the world wars past is more about just like guys and like loud and like drumming things around and like getting stuff done in a more violent way, but whatever. But like here, you know, it's like there's definitely that component. It's LA, so it's entertainment. And I was like, it's really intimidating because like I don't know if you've ever been around like a group of like really like rich. I was like, it's funny because they're like all really rich and they're making a lot of money doing these like shitty medical things. But like they're like those like beautiful Black people and they're like they're not unaware of that. You're like, okay, like I don't know, man. Like have you like is there something we can do to like figure out how to align these policies? The problem being that like within our like racial architecture and our financial architecture, right? Like those policies are being made like kind of at the top, whereas that maybe over in Europe, but like the manufacturing's over there. So you're like, these people are participating in something, maybe they'd actually like to do something a little bit softer or more ethical, but they don't know how because the manufacturing and the policies are not being addressed at all by the HHS. Kennedy, you know that, and you should have been doing this whole time, you know, like these, it's just so frustrating because I'm like, here I am doing that job again one more time. Like, I'm so surprised, but it's good because it's kind of getting done. And that it's like, what are we supposed to do? You know, like, we're diverse people. And like, you know, it's terrorizing. Like there was the whole thing about DEI was, it was like actually terrorizing a lot of white women. They're like, yeah, I want to help you. You're diverse, right? You need help. You know, white women are just so confused. And it's like, no, they're going to kill you. Like, you know, it's not because you're white or Black or nothing. It's just because like, you're asking if they need help. Like, you look weak, you know, it's like a different language and there's law enforcement behind it sometimes because they're just trying to keep things in order, you know, it's a different situation. And so the cool thing about this ruling today was like they were making it pretty clear that either way, like constitutional laws apply and there's a reason why, and like do not mess with them. You know, even if you're in those situations, it was pretty clear that it was like trying to speak to that a little bit. And I was like, well, hopefully, you know, like police can pick up on that quicker and make better decisions, because I know like, you know, fascism is a very programming kind of thing and the police are pretty subjective to that easily because, you know, a lot of times law enforcement also there's turnover and like it's just whatever the state is willing to pay for. And if the highest state interests are held by, for example, companies like Kaiser, which is basically a post-World War II Nazi and medical industrial company, you know, like they're going to be able to influence police law enforcement packages and like churn out like police officers that are going to listen to their policies. You would presume in a worst case scenario, because I've been through things that indicate to me like, you know, it's the apocalypse. And so I have to think about those kinds of things. And, you know, I don't know if it's actually happening, but I do know that more recently, like, it's not like those people have changed their minds, you know, and just to say that, like, I'm so sorry if you think that, like, me talking about something that is less than the highest end of capital function for every fucking thing you can do in the market is, like, not cool, or, like, you know, it's just like aligning me with the wrong group of people and I'm never going to get the husband I deserve or whatever. And like the diamond ring, just like go fucking figure it out. Like your fingernails are going to be square for the rest of your life. You know, like fuck you. You don't even understand. You don't understand how economics works. You don't understand how markets work. Like all of these choices that we make have externalities. You may not feel them right now, but your children will, you know, and it's not just about, you know, whether you're spending money to keep something of high value in a place where it is. It's about how you conduct that value and it's about how that value maintains itself. And all those decisions have externalities that reliably are going to be destroying other things if you're that kind of person, right? And so that means that you have like basura everywhere. Like you fucked up everything because you were putting your personal, private, like selfish, blinded interests before the needs of common and public goods. Okay, so like I was like, simple lesson. Government can't do this. Why? It's not a public good. The only proper purpose of government is to provide public goods. End of story. Done, you know? Basically, you know, like the different versions of government tend to like mess around. But the point is that in that situation, it's not a public good. You're doing something that's actually harmful to the public. Therefore, at scale, with money that is supposed to be only used to provide things of value for people at scale. Otherwise, you're taking money and you're doing something that you're not supposed to do with money. And you're doing it, you're iterating it many, many times over. And it has externalities too. Like, why would you do that? It's the dumbest shit you could ever do, honestly. Yeah, that's all we do. It's gotten that bad. And it's just because of the way war and everything came together. So, but like that is to say, I'm at 15 minutes. I'm not going to go any much longer, but it was 140 minutes and I look like shit. Like I do not look like the same fucking person. I don't know if I'm going to get away with posting this. I woke up this morning and I had this whole rant and rave because somebody's trying to impregnate me again, basically. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's actually just the fucking guy. It's just like, it's probably just, like, you got to watch it. I think there's a whole show about like how everybody hates him. But, but I think in the end, probably that's kind of what's going on. But like, it was so upsetting. And I was just like, I am so sick of this Nazi shit. Like all they fucking do is try to play sex games, you know, because you have a lot of money. It's like sex games, domination, like manipulation. And I was like, this is where they get it. They get their fucking sex money game, like their games for sex money from selling drugs. Like I laid the whole thing out like on a live posting and then it disappeared. I was like, does somebody think they own me? Like, no. And I was like, yeah, no, who does? There's this one girl. She's like Swedish and she was trafficking me. And she was like definitely fucking guys. And I saw her fucking guys when she was trafficking me. And she looks like a bunch of other cops. There's like 7 of them and they all look alike because that's what God does to you when all you do is like deal meth and traffic people. They make you all look alike because you look like animals. That's what God does. It's true. And so that girl, one time on Facebook, she said, I own you. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, why do you talk to people like that? Like you torment them, you know? Like I'm scared of her. I'm actually scared of her. And like, you know, in a fight, at this point, she could probably reasonably kick my ass. I'm pretty weakened. I'm not gonna lie. I've been like hiding in my room for a while, just trying to like wait till this stuff gets sorted out because those motherfuckers over there look like her too. And those motherfuckers are there, the Jewish kind that don't talk and lie. And so I was like, I'm just like not, you know, because you look at me and you're like, well, why don't, like, were you not working? Are you partying? Like, God, then you must have been a slut. Like, did you take your mom's money? Like, you know, it's not looking good for me. And honestly, if you looked at what everybody was saying, they were just covering their own asses on the bullshit they were doing as a matter of state-sanctioned crime, which they had no right to do in the first place. And I am just trying to get it fixed because my actual job, paying job, the only thing that's ever likely going to let me have a life of independence, free, like, I mean, given that the other things I've tried to do are in entertainment. And so far in LA, if you hadn't noticed, women have not been having the best time as independent actors in entertainment. Like, there's usually a lot of risk. And if there isn't a lot of like just risk and they like are actually working in places because they're like big companies and they're pretty well, you know, secured for a reasonable amount of time working, like there's a lot of hustle and there's a lot of harassment and it's not like you're going to have an easy time trying to present independent opinions always. Things change, but it's scary, you know? It's like, so one thing that's always made me feel like I'm not suffocating, because the other thing about being here in LA is that we have a lot of redevelopment problems that are very serious. And so if you're sensitive to environmental concerns, it's really bad, like to just go outside, you know, like I get triggered and I get like kind of stressed really easily. And I don't have a lot of, it wouldn't be as bad if I had not been so destroyed as a matter of these like fascist dynamics meeting these post-World War II dynamics with this new technology and just like running over whatever developments we'd made in our court system. And so I was removed from like things that were very clearly like violent. It was just due process was like flattened. There was scary versions of due process, the kind of thing you would never expect would happen to you. You know, sometimes you understand that, yeah, due process gets run over. You know, it's like your client and they're like, you know, they're your client and they're making a moral argument and it's the United States and like they got a little bit run over. Okay, yeah, that happens. But this is like me with like all of my money getting like a huge mistrial, like basically handed to me first thing. And I was very clear and all this stuff. And it's just like bias. And it's very scary. You know, it's like next level kind of scary. And that's just like one thing, you know, there's many of them. And so it's like, you know, to see all that, you know, and then looking at all what's happening internationally and environmentally here and walking outside, and it's just, you know, where do you get the action? Where's your leverage? Where is your punching arm? Like, how do you get that stuff done? You like call Army Corps and stuff like that, but Army has to deal with their Army, like they have Army, military, industrial technologies. That's what they maintain and do. And there's a lot of other branches of the government that are similarly functional. They have their own versions, and then there's every other country that has them too. And so, you know, that's a really hard environmental challenge of its own accord. Like getting them to deal with a collective interest in those things it takes a person that's willing to do it. You have to coordinate that stuff. And so the whole video is just kind of me saying like, I'm here to do it. I guess I have to. I'm trying. The reason why I'm still like, it's like a stand-in or something like that, but it's like I need to take a vacation. So I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible, or like as efficiently as possible. And like try to make it clear that like it's possible, like you just have to be able to see it and do it, and that, you know, eventually it'll get better. But it's not good out there, and like if you're paying attention, you will have panic attacks. Like, and if you know, like even if you're someone that can like knock down a building with a, you know, a wrecking ball, you're still gonna feel like you can't handle all of them, because if you live in LA, like so the city of LA is in a basin, so there's this like really gorgeous mountain range behind it, but like it's the basin, and then there's the port on the other side of the mountains, and so this is like a big like enclosure, and then inside the enclosure there's like crisscrossing freeways everywhere, and like around LA in particular, there's like literally like a circle. It's like a like 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 different freeways, kind of creating a like TikTok board around the city of LA. So that's all that exhaust that's just like circling around the city, and then right in front of the mountains. Okay, that's like the worst thing you can imagine, right? But it's worse than that actually, because it's like it's so much more crowded. So you're thinking like, you know, even if you could bring a wrecking ball to a situation, you're looking at that and you're like, oh my God, this is actually a really big problem. Like, how did that even happen? Like, what were we even thinking? And then how do we get it stopped? And nobody will even talk about vouchers to like turn your car in for a bike. Like, we can't even figure that out in LA. Like, right? We haven't figured that out for like 5 years in LA. Why? I don't know, man. Like, it's something to do with German medicine and German automotive. I'll tell you that. Like, they're definitely one of the big problems. So I'm like trying not to get in the way, but I'm like, bike vouchers, and then they're just like, Elon's like, but I did get a call. I think I did, you know, update on the Elon thing. I think I did get a call from Elon today. It sounded like he actually even wrote a specific letter. I was like, did you write this? But it was him reciting it. Like, he wouldn't talk, and it cut out every now and then, but it was actually a really detailed letter. And it started out like it could have been like, he's like, you know, my fans and stuff, but then it got really detailed, and I was like, that's just not no. And I was like, are you calling me? You know, and then it hung up. But it was a really long thing, because we've been in a fight. We've been in a fight. You know why I've been in a fight? Because he's German, and he's like making all this stuff, and like they're military industrial crazy pants, you know, like especially, and my mom's in medicine, and so like you're thinking military industrial is bad, then you got to get to that. To get to them, you got to get to the layer of medicine beneath them that is batshit insane and does not do medicine. They hate us. Like, they hate the United States. They're here, occupy. This is part of the video I should too. They occupy us, and they do not think we're worth whatever, you know? And so, like, dealing with German medicine and then German military and industrial, and, like, Elon's, like, the epitome of the worst person, because he's actually just, like, privatized car money, but, like, it's, like, he's still all those things, too, you know? And kind of, like, snakes in by being a different space agency. I'm like, but what about NASA? Like, how did you get through our borders? You know? But everybody loves him, so it's okay, you know? So it's like, so we've been, like, in a lot of conflict, honestly. And so this whole thing, I was like, because it's coming through iCloud or something. I was like, really? I was like, answered. I was like, what? Like, I don't believe you. So that happened also. It's just funny. These are the things I do. It's 23 minutes. I'm cutting it off, but like, you know, and if I look fat later, fine, whatever. Who fucking cares? I don't actually look like that anyway. But it's not fucking rude, you know? Like I spent a lot of my time trying to help people understand what's going on. And like this bullshit is like, well, I'm gonna make you look fat. And I'm like, well, why? Like, you know, like I'm not gonna win if this goes to court, like, unless you show my video where I look cute. And like, who are you? Like, have we met? Like, like, did you make sure like your dick has a right to do that? Like, you need to like go check it in with I don't know. Are we a Muslim country yet? I was wondering.